Hey, family, welcome back. Pull up a sandbag or find a spot on the floor. If you're listening to this in real time, the wind is probably starting to whistle through the door frames and the rain is coming down sideways. Welcome to Episode 2, Weathering the Storm. This is the waiting game, the landfall phase. Back in 2004, when Francis hit Central Florida, it wasn't a fast mover like Charlie. Charlie was a buzzsaw, in and out in a few hours. But Francis was a massive, slow-moving wall of water. It sat on top of us for nearly 2 days, just endless, relentless pounding. You sit inside, the power goes out, the lights flicker and die, and all you can hear is the roar of the wind and the sickening thud of trees snapping in the dark outside. It does something to your head, man. The adrenaline is pumping through your veins, your hands are twitching to grab a starter cord, and you feel like you should be out there doing something, but you can't. Today, we're talking about what a crew needs to be doing and not doing while the hurricane is actively making landfall. We're talking about tracking the monster, enforcing the ultimate boundary, and managing the psychological pressure cooker of the bunker. Let's talk tracking and logistics first. Just because you're locked indoors doesn't mean you're off the clock. If you still have data or a satellite feed, you need to be monitoring the weather radar constantly. You're looking for the structural shifts in the storm. Specifically, you need to know where the eye wall is, and you need to track the dirty side of the hurricane, that front right quadrant where the winds are highest and the tornadic activity is spawned. If you're a senior climber or a BCMA, this is when you're doing mental triage. You know your local canopy, you know which neighborhoods have over-mature laurel oaks with internal decay. You know which streets are lined with shallow-rooted pines sitting in sugar sand that's about to turn into liquid mud. You should be looking at the wind direction. If the storm is pushing winds from the east, those trees are being loaded in a direction they've never been structurally adapted to withstand. Live oaks optimize their wood growth based on prevailing winds. You reverse that force with 100-mile-an-hour gusts, and even healthy root systems can fail. Start mapping out your priority zones in your head right now. But here's the absolute non-negotiable golden rule of disaster response. I need every senior guy to burn this into the brain of the new guy sitting next to him right now. The no-go rule. When those winds cross 40 or 45 miles an hour, you are locked down, period. I don't care if the mayor calls. I don't care if the local utility company is begging you to clear a line to a hospital. No tree, no road, no power line is worth a human life in active high winds. During the 2004 storms, we had guys want to pop out during the eye of the storm because it got dead calm. The sun even came out for a minute. They thought, hey, let's go check the trucks. No, the back half of the eye wall will hit you like a freight train before you can get your chaps on. When a tree fails in a hurricane, it doesn't give a warning crack. It is a catastrophic, explosive failure, and flying debris will turn a piece of fascia or a broken pine limb into a lethal missile. You stay inside. The world can wait until the storm is done. Now let's talk about the meat in the room, the bunker. When you lock a crew of high-alpha, hard-working arborists in a cramped space with no power, rising humidity, and nothing to do but listen to the wind, tension builds up fast. The adrenaline spike hits when the storm starts, but after 10 hours of waiting, that adrenaline turns into anxiety, irritability, and restlessness. As the senior leader on the crew, your job right now isn't technical, it's psychological. You need to manage the energy in the room. First thing, forced hydration and nutrition. Right now, guys are going to want to cope by pacing around, drinking a pot of coffee, or smoking a pack of cigarettes. All that does is dehydrate them and amplify their anxiety. Force them to drink water now. Force them to eat a solid, clean meal while you still have a way to cook or before the coolers lose ice. The physical toll of the next 2 weeks starts right here. If they start day one of the cleanup already dehydrated and running on tobacco and nervous energy, they're going to drop like flies from heat exhaustion by noon. Use this time to talk strategy. Get a whiteboard or a piece of paper and run through scenarios with the new guy. Teach him about the forces he's about to see. Explain how a tree under tension acts like a loaded spring. Calm his nerves by showing him that we have a plan. We have the gear and we have each other's backs. Morale is a resource, just like bar oil or gasoline. If you let your crew leak morale during the landfall phase, you'll be running on empty when the real work begins. I want to leave you with a warning from the bunker back in 2004 during Hurricane Francis. We were holed up in a concrete block shop, and the wind was absolutely screaming outside. We heard a massive crash right against the bay door. One of my younger climbers got so spooked, he jumped up, grabbed his saw, and actually put his hand on the deadbolt to go look. I had to physically grab him by the vest and pull him back. It turned out a commercial dumpster had blown down the street and smashed into the door. If he had opened that door, the pressure differential could have ripped the roof right off the bay, or a piece of flying tin could have taken his head off. The lesson is this: fear makes people do irrational things. The sound of a hurricane tearing up a town is terrifying. It sounds like a freight train running through your living room. Your crew is going to look to you, the veteran, to see how you react. If you are calm, they will be calm. If you are steady, they will hold the line. Listen to the wind, keep your crews fed, keep them hydrated, and do not let anyone turn that deadbolt. The storm is doing its worst right now, but our time is coming. If this episode brought some perspective to the waiting game, please hit like, subscribe, and pass this along to someone who might be sitting in a bunker right now. Staying steady in the dark is how we survive the storm. Keep your morale high, hold the line, and I'll see you on episode 3 when the wind dies down.